You ever felt like you were invisible? Like no one truly saw you or understood what you've been through? What if I told you there's a moment in life when everything changes? A moment that flips your world upside down and makes you question everything you thought was true? If you're watching right now, pause for just a second and think about where you are. Are you sitting on your couch at home? Maybe you're scrolling on your phone while waiting for your coffee to brew? Drop a comment below. Tell me where you're watching from. It helps me know how far our stories can travel. And hey, don't forget to hit that like button. It means so much to me, and it shows you care. This story is exactly for you. So buckle up. We're diving deep. Let's talk about something wild. An undercover coach attending his own tryouts. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? But trust me, this isn't some Hollywood plot. It's real life. And it gets even crazier when two players say something during those tryouts that stops him cold in his tracks. You won't believe what happens next. Dylan Harper wasn't always known as Coach Harper. Once upon a time, he was just Dylan, a kid with dreams bigger than himself. He grew up playing soccer in a small town called Pine Ridge, where fields stretched endlessly under open skies. Soccer wasn't just a game to Dylan. It was his escape, his passion, his purpose. Every kick of the ball felt like freedom. But life had other plans for him. A knee injury ended his career before it even began, leaving him shattered and lost. Years later, Dylan found himself coaching kids who reminded him of his younger self, full of hope, fire, and raw talent. He poured every ounce of his broken dream into them, teaching them not just how to play, but how to live with grit and heart. His team became his family, and their victories were his redemption. That's why, when rumors spread that another coach might take over his position, Dylan decided to do something bold. He went undercover as a player and joined the tryouts for his own team. The day of the tryouts arrived, crisp air biting at everyone's cheeks. Dylan stood among the crowd of hopefuls, feeling both excited and terrified. No one recognized him. He'd shaved his beard, worn contacts instead of glasses, and traded his usual hoodie for athletic gear. As the drills began, he pushed himself harder than he had in years, proving silently that age hadn't stolen all his skill. The young players around him were fast, strong, and hungry, but none of them knew they were being watched by someone who understood their struggles better than anyone else. Then came the moment that changed everything. Two players, Owen and Mia, sat together during a water break, chatting casually. Their voices carried over the field, reaching Dylan's ears without warning. "Man," Owen said, shaking his head, "I heard Coach Harper might get replaced soon." Mia frowned, twisting the cap off her bottle. "Yeah, I heard that too. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. He's good, sure, but sometimes it feels like he doesn't really see us, you know?" Dylan froze mid-step, the words hitting him like a punch to the gut. Not seeing them? How could she say that? He gave everything for these kids, for her. Didn't she understand? Owen shrugged, leaning back against the bleachers. "I get what you mean. Like, remember last season when Liam got benched after his mom passed away? Coach didn't even ask him if he wanted to sit out, just acted like nothing happened." Mia nodded sadly. "Exactly. And then there's stuff like practice schedules. My little brother has asthma, and Coach refuses to adjust timings, even though mornings are tough for him. It's like he cares more about winning than about us." Dylan's chest tightened. Was that really how they saw him? Had he been so focused on turning them into champions that he forgot to treat them like human beings? He wanted to march over, defend himself, explain everything, but he couldn't, not without blowing his cover. Instead, he stood there, rooted to the spot, replaying their words over and over in his mind. If you're still with me, drop a heart in the comments. Let me know you're here because this part hits hard. Have you ever felt misunderstood? Like someone judged you without knowing your side of the story? Tell me in the comments. I'm listening. As the tryouts continued, Dylan struggled to focus. Each drill felt heavier than the last, each pass less precise. His thoughts were consumed by guilt and shame. He remembered Liam sitting alone on the sidelines after his mother died, staring blankly at the grass. He remembered Mia's frustration when he dismissed her concerns about her brother's health. These weren't excuses. They were cries for help, and he'd ignored them. By the end of the day, Dylan slipped away unnoticed, retreating to his car parked far from the field. Sitting behind the wheel, he stared at his reflection in the rearview mirror. Who was he anymore? A washed-up player pretending to be young again? A coach who cared more about trophies than people? Or just a man trying and failing to make things right? That night, Dylan couldn't sleep. He replayed Owen and Mia's conversation in his head, dissecting every word, every accusation. Finally, exhausted and desperate for answers, he grabbed a notebook and started writing. He wrote letters to each of his players, not emails, not texts, but handwritten notes filled with apologies, explanations, and promises to do better. By sunrise, his desk was cluttered with pages torn from the notebook, each one addressed to someone whose trust he'd unknowingly broken. When the team gathered for practice the next morning, Dylan handed out the letters silently. The players looked confused, glancing between the papers and their coach. For a long moment, no one spoke. Then Owen cleared his throat. "Coach," he said hesitantly, "is this real?" Dylan nodded, meeting Owen's gaze. "Every word. I messed up, guys. I've been so focused on making you winners that I forgot to be your friend first. I'm sorry." The silence stretched longer, heavy with emotion. Finally, Mia stepped forward, clutching her letter tightly. "We didn't mean to hurt you," she admitted softly. "We just needed someone to listen." Tears welled in Dylan's eyes as he realized the truth. Being a leader wasn't about perfection. It was about connection, about showing up, listening, and learning, even when it hurt. Before we wrap this up, I need to hear from you. Have you ever had to apologize for something big? Something that made you rethink who you are? Share your story in the comments, and don't forget to like this video if it moved you. Stories like this only reach others because of people like you. Months passed, and Dylan's team transformed. Practices became less about drills and more about conversations. Players opened up about their fears, their struggles, their dreams. Wins came slower, but they felt sweeter because they were built on trust and understanding. Dylan learned to balance toughness with compassion, discipline with empathy, and slowly he earned back the respect he'd almost lost. One evening, as the sun dipped low on the horizon, Dylan found himself standing alone on the field. The wind rustled through the trees, carrying whispers of laughter from nearby houses. He smiled, realizing something profound. Failure wasn't the opposite of success. It was part of it. Every misstep, every mistake taught him how to be better. And so, as the stars began to twinkle above Pine Ridge, Dylan whispered to the empty field, "Thank you. Thank you for the pain, the lessons, the second chances. Because without them, he wouldn't be the man or the coach he was today." Here's the takeaway, friends. Sometimes the hardest truths come from the people we least expect. But if we have the courage to listen, to change, and to grow, those truths can set us free. Life isn't about avoiding mistakes. It's about learning from them. So go out there, embrace your imperfections, and never stop striving to be better. You've got this. Now tell me, what's one thing you'll do differently tomorrow? Comment below, and let's inspire each other. Until next time, take care, and remember, you matter.